Jamie sat on the worn-out couch, his eyes fixed on a small toy car that he was rolling back and forth on the armrest. The living room was dimly lit, with the only light coming from a flickering bulb in the corner. The apartment was a mess, with clothes and trash strewn across the floor. The air was thick with the smell of stale food and cigarette smoke. Lisa, Jamie's mother, stormed into the room, her face twisted in anger. She had just returned from another night out, her makeup smudged and her hair disheveled. She glared at Jamie, who immediately tensed up, his hands clutching the toy car tighter. "Jamie," she shouted, her voice echoing off the walls. "What did I tell you about leaving your toys everywhere? This place is a pigsty because of you?" Jamie looked up at her, his eyes wide with fear. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. He was used to his mother's outbursts, but they never got any easier to handle. "You're useless," Lisa continued, her voice rising. "I can't believe I have to put up with you every single day. You're nothing but a burden." Tears welled up in Jamie's eyes, but he didn't dare cry. He knew it would only make things worse. He tried to focus on the toy car in his hands, hoping it would provide some comfort. Lisa grabbed the toy car from him and threw it across the room. It hit the wall with a loud crack, pieces of plastic scattering across the floor. Jamie flinched, his heart pounding in his chest. "Get out of my sight," Lisa screamed. "I don't want to see you right now." Jamie scrambled off the couch and ran to his small bedroom, shutting the door behind him. He sat on his bed, his body trembling with fear and sadness. He didn't understand why his mother hated him so much. He didn't understand why he couldn't be like other kids. The next morning, Jamie woke up to the sound of his mother yelling again. He slowly got out of bed and peeked out of his bedroom door. Lisa was in the kitchen, talking on the phone and gesturing wildly with her free hand. "I can't take it anymore," she shouted into the phone. "He's too much for me to handle. I don't care what you say, I'm done." Jamie felt a lump form in his throat. He knew she was talking about him. He quietly closed the door and sat back down on his bed, hugging his knees to his chest. He wished he could disappear, that he could be someone else, someone his mother could love. Later that day, Lisa barged into Jamie's room, a wild look in her eyes. She grabbed his arm and yanked him off the bed, dragging him towards the front door. "Mom, please?" Jamie cried, his voice shaking. "Don't do this. I can't stand the sight of you anymore," Lisa hissed, her grip tightening on his arm. "You're going to stay with someone else from now on. I don't care where you go, just get out of my house." She shoved him out the door and slammed it shut behind him. Jamie stood there, stunned, tears streaming down his face. He looked around, not knowing where to go or what to do. He felt completely and utterly alone. Jamie wandered the streets for hours, his heart heavy with sadness and fear. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew he couldn't go back home. He walked aimlessly, his mind racing with thoughts of what he had done wrong, why his mother hated him so much. As the sun began to set, Jamie found himself in a quiet neighborhood, far from the busy streets he was used to. He was exhausted, his feet sore from walking all day. He sat down on a bench, his head in his hands, trying to hold back the tears. Just then, a kind-looking woman approached him, her face filled with concern. She had short, curly hair and warm brown eyes that seemed to radiate kindness. "Hey there," she said softly, kneeling down in front of him. "Are you okay?" Jamie looked up at her, his eyes red and puffy from crying. He shook his head, unable to find the words to explain what had happened. "What's your name?" the woman asked gently. "Jamie," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Hi Jamie, I'm Sarah," she said with a warm smile. "Where's your family, sweetie? Are you lost?" Jamie shook his head again, fresh tears spilling down his cheeks. "My mom, she doesn't want me anymore. She told me to leave." Sarah's heart broke at the sight of the young boy in front of her. She could see the pain and fear in his eyes, and she knew she had to help him. "Come with me, Jamie," she said softly, holding out her hand. "We'll figure this out together, okay?" Jamie hesitated for a moment, but something in Sarah's eyes made him trust her. He reached out and took her hand, feeling a small spark of hope for the first time in a long time. Sarah led Jamie to her car and helped him into the back seat. She then got into the driver's seat and started the engine, glancing back at him through the rearview mirror. "Do you have any other family we can call?" she asked gently. Jamie shook his head. "No, just my mom." Sarah nodded, her heart aching for the young boy. She decided to take him home at least for the night until they could figure out what to do next. When they arrived at Sarah's house, Jamie was greeted by a tall man with a kind smile. He had short, dark hair and a gentle demeanor that put Jamie at ease. "Hi there," the man said, kneeling down to Jamie's level. I'm Michael. What's your name? Jamie, he replied quietly. Well, Jamie, it's nice to meet you, Michael said with a warm smile. Why don't you come inside and we can get you something to eat? Jamie nodded, feeling a little more at ease. He followed Sarah and Michael into their home, which was warm and inviting. The smell of freshly baked cookies filled the air, and Jamie's stomach growled in response. Sarah led Jamie to the kitchen and sat him down at the table. She placed a plate of cookies and a glass of milk in front of him, and Jamie's eyes widened in surprise. He couldn't remember the last time someone had been so kind to him. Thank you, he said softly, taking a bite of a cookie. It was warm and delicious, and he felt a small flicker of happiness. You're welcome, Jamie, Sarah said with a smile. You can stay here as long as you need to, okay? We'll figure everything out together. Jamie nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over him. For the first time in a long time he felt safe. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew that with Sarah and Michael by his side, he might just be okay. That night, Jamie slept in a cozy guest room with a soft bed and warm blankets. He felt a sense of comfort he hadn't experienced in a long time. As he drifted off to sleep, he couldn't help but wonder what the future held for him. The next morning, Jamie woke up to the smell of breakfast cooking. He got out of bed and followed the delicious aroma to the kitchen, where he found Sarah and Michael preparing a hearty meal. Good morning, Jamie, Sarah greeted him with a smile. Did you sleep well? Jamie nodded, feeling a bit shy. Yes, thank you. Come sit down, Michael said, pulling out a chair for Jamie. We've got pancakes, eggs, and bacon. Help yourself. Jamie sat down at the table and hesitantly took a pancake. As he ate, he couldn't help but notice how different this felt compared to his old life. Sarah and Michael were kind and attentive, making sure he had everything he needed. After breakfast, Sarah suggested they go for a walk in the nearby park. Jamie agreed, and soon they were strolling through the park, enjoying the fresh air and the sounds of birds chirping. As they walked, Sarah gently broached the subject of Jamie's mother. Jamie, I know it's hard to talk about, but can you tell us a little more about what happened with your mom? Jamie hesitated, his eyes downcast. He didn't like thinking about his mother or the way she treated him, but he knew he had to tell Sarah and Michael the truth. She never really liked me, Jamie began, his voice barely above a whisper. She always said I was a burden and that I made her life difficult. She would yell at me a lot, and sometimes she would hit me. Sarah's heart ached for Jamie. She reached out and gently squeezed his hand. I'm so sorry, Jamie. No one should ever treat you that way. Jamie nodded, feeling a lump form in his throat. Yesterday she told me to leave. She said she didn't want me anymore. Michael, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. Jamie, I want you to know that none of this is your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Your mom's behavior is not okay, and you deserve to be treated with love and kindness. Jamie looked up at Michael, his eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and hope. Do you really think so? I know so, Michael replied firmly. And Sarah and I are here for you. We'll do everything we can to make sure you're safe and happy. Jamie felt a warmth spread through his chest. He had never had anyone stand up for him like this before. It felt strange but also incredibly comforting. Over the next few days, Sarah and Michael worked to make Jamie feel at home. They enrolled him in a new school, where the teachers were kind and understanding. They also took him to a therapist who specialized in working with children with autism. At first, Jamie was hesitant to open up to the therapist, but over time he began to feel more comfortable. The therapist, Dr. Reynolds, was patient and gentle, helping Jamie to express his feelings and work through his trauma. One afternoon, after a particularly good session with Dr. Reynolds, Jamie returned home to find Sarah and Michael waiting for him with big smiles on their faces. Jamie, we have some news, Sarah said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. We've decided to become your foster parents. We've already started the paperwork, and soon, you'll be officially part of our family. Jamie's eyes widened in surprise. Really? You want me to stay? Absolutely, Michael said, kneeling down to Jamie's level. We love having you here, Jamie. You're a wonderful kid, and we want to give you the home and family you deserve. Tears of happiness filled Jamie's eyes. He had never felt so wanted, so loved. He threw his arms around Sarah and Michael, hugging them tightly. Thank you, he whispered. Thank you so much. As the weeks turned into months, Jamie's life continued to improve. He thrived in his new school, making friends and excelling in his classes. Sarah and Michael were always there to support him, attending school events and cheering him on. Jamie also made significant progress in therapy, learning to manage his emotions and communicate more effectively. Dr. Reynolds was impressed with his growth and often praised him for his hard work. One evening, as they sat down for dinner, Sarah and Michael shared another piece of exciting news with Jamie. "Jamie, we've been talking to your caseworker and we've decided that we want to adopt you," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. "We want you to be our son, officially and forever." Jamie's heart skipped a beat. He had always dreamed of having a real family, but he never thought it would actually happen. "You really want to adopt me?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotion. "Yes, we do," Michael said, reaching out to hold Jamie's hand. "We love you, Jamie. You're already part of our family in every way that matters, and we want to make it official." Tears streamed down Jamie's face as he nodded. "I want that too. I want to be your son." The adoption process took several months, but finally, the day arrived when Jamie officially became Sarah and Michael's son. The courtroom was filled with family and friends, all there to celebrate the special occasion. As the judge finalized the adoption, Jamie felt a sense of joy and belonging that he had never experienced before. He was no longer alone. He had a family who loved him and would always be there for him. After the ceremony, they all gathered at Sarah and Michael's house for a celebration. There was laughter, music, and plenty of food. Jamie looked around at the smiling faces and felt a warmth in his heart. That night, as he lay in bed, Jamie thought about how much his life had changed. He had gone from feeling unwanted and unloved to being part of a family who cherished him. He knew there would still be challenges ahead, but with Sarah and Michael by his side, he felt ready to face anything. The next morning, Jamie woke up with a sense of excitement. It was his first day as an official member of his new family, and he couldn't wait to start this new chapter of his life. As he got ready for school, he thought about all the people who had helped him along the way: Sarah, Michael, Dr. Reynolds, and his new teachers and friends. He felt grateful for each and every one of them. At breakfast, Sarah and Michael surprised Jamie with a special gift: a photo album filled with pictures of their time together. There were photos of their first day at the park, school events, family dinners, and even a few candid shots of Jamie laughing and playing. "We wanted to give you something to remind you of how much we love you," Sarah said, her eyes shining with tears. "You're a part of our family, Jamie, and we couldn't be happier." Jamie flipped through the album, feeling a rush of emotions. Each photo was a reminder of the love and support he had found with Sarah and Michael. He hugged them both tightly, feeling a sense of gratitude and joy. As he headed off to school, Jamie felt a renewed sense of confidence. He knew that no matter what challenges he faced, he had a family who believed in him and would always be there to support him. And for the first time in his life, Jamie felt truly happy. As the months passed, Jamie continued to thrive in his new environment. He excelled in his studies, made new friends, and discovered new interests and hobbies. Sarah and Michael were always there to encourage and support him, attending every school event and celebrating every achievement. One day, Jamie came home from school with a flyer in his hand. He looked excited as he showed it to Sarah and Michael. "Look, there's a science fair at school next month," Jamie said, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. "I want to enter and build a project." Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "That sounds wonderful, Jamie. What kind of project do you want to do?" Jamie thought for a moment, then his face lit up with an idea. "I want to build a model of the solar system. I've been reading about space and I think it would be really cool." Michael nodded, impressed by Jamie's ambition. "That's a great idea, Jamie. We'll help you with whatever you need." Over the next few weeks, Jamie worked tirelessly on his project. Sarah and Michael helped him gather the materials and provided guidance, but they let Jamie take the lead. He was determined to do his best and show everyone what he was capable of. The night before the science fair, Jamie put the finishing touches on his model. He carefully painted each planet and arranged them in the correct order, making sure everything was perfect. Sarah and Michael watched with admiration, proud of how far Jamie had come. The next day they all went to the school for the science fair. The gymnasium was filled with students and their projects, and the atmosphere was buzzing with excitement. Jamie set up his model and stood proudly beside it, ready to explain his work to the judges. As the judges made their rounds, Jamie confidently explained the details of his project. He talked about the different planets, their sizes, and their distances from the sun. The judges were impressed by his knowledge and enthusiasm. When the winners were announced, Jamie's heart raced with anticipation. He couldn't believe it when he heard his name called as the winner of the first prize. He looked at Sarah and Michael, who were beaming with pride, and felt a surge of happiness. As he accepted his trophy, Jamie felt a sense of accomplishment like never before. He had worked hard and achieved something amazing, and it was all thanks to the love and support of his new family. After the science fair, they went out for ice cream to celebrate. Jamie couldn't stop smiling as he enjoyed his treat, feeling a sense of joy and contentment that he had never known before. Later that evening, as they sat together in the living room, Jamie looked at Sarah and Michael with gratitude. "Thank you for everything," he said softly. "I couldn't have done it without you." Sarah hugged him tightly. "We're so proud of you, Jamie. You've worked so hard and you deserve every bit of this success." Michael nodded in agreement. "You've come a long way, Jamie. And we'll always be here to support you no matter what." Jamie felt a warmth in his heart as he looked at his parents. He knew that he was truly loved and that he had a bright future ahead of him. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Jamie continued to grow and flourish. He discovered a passion for science and spent hours reading books and watching documentaries about space and the natural world. Sarah and Michael encouraged his interests, providing him with all the resources he needed to explore his curiosity. One weekend, they decided to take Jamie to a science museum. Jamie was thrilled at the prospect of seeing real-life exhibits and learning more about the subjects he loved. As they walked through the museum, Jamie's eyes widened with wonder at the displays of dinosaurs, planets, and scientific experiments. They spent hours exploring the museum, with Jamie eagerly soaking up all the information. Sarah and Michael watched with pride as he asked questions and engaged with the exhibits, clearly in his element. At one point, they came across an interactive exhibit about space exploration. Jamie's face lit up as he saw the models of rockets and spacecraft. He eagerly pressed the buttons and read the information panels, fascinated by the idea of traveling to other planets. As they left the museum, Jamie couldn't stop talking about everything he had seen. "I want to be a scientist when I grow up," he declared, his eyes shining with determination. "I want to learn everything there is to know about space." Sarah smiled and ruffled his hair. "You can be anything you want to be, Jamie. We'll always support you." Michael nodded in agreement. "You're a smart and talented kid, Jamie. We know you'll achieve great things." Jamie's heart swelled with happiness. He knew that with Sarah and Michael by his side, he could accomplish anything he set his mind to. As the years went by, Jamie continued to excel in school and pursue his passion for science. He participated in more science fairs, won awards, and even gave presentations to his classmates about his favorite topics. Sarah and Michael were always there to cheer him on and celebrate his successes. One day, Jamie came home with exciting news. "I've been accepted into the advanced science program at school," he announced, holding up the acceptance letter. Sarah and Michael hugged him tightly, their faces filled with pride. "That's amazing, Jamie. We're so proud of you," Sarah said, her eyes shining with tears of joy. Michael nodded. "You've worked so hard, Jamie. This is well-deserved." Jamie beamed with happiness. He knew that this was just the beginning of his journey, and he was excited for all the opportunities that lay ahead. As he continued to grow and achieve his dreams, Jamie never forgot the love and support of his parents. Sarah and Michael had given him a second chance at life, and he was determined to make the most of it. Years later, Jamie stood on the stage at his high school graduation, looking out at the audience. He spotted Sarah and Michael in the crowd, their faces beaming with pride. He felt a surge of gratitude as he thought about everything they had done for him. As he received his diploma, Jamie knew that he was ready to take on the world. He had a bright future ahead of him, filled with endless possibilities. And he knew that no matter where life took him, he would always have the love and support of his family. After the graduation ceremony, they all gathered for a celebratory dinner. Jamie looked around at the smiling faces of his family and friends, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "Thank you for always believing in me," Jamie said, his voice filled with emotion. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." Sarah hugged him tightly. "We're so proud of you, Jamie. You've worked so hard and achieved so much. We can't wait to see what the future holds for you." Michael nodded in agreement. "You've come a long way, Jamie. And we'll always be here to support you no matter what." Jamie smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart. He knew that he was truly loved and that he had a bright future ahead of him. As they sat together, laughing and reminiscing about the past, Jamie felt a sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought him to this moment. He had faced many challenges, but with the love and support of his family, he had overcome them all. And as he looked to the future, Jamie knew that he was ready for whatever came next. With Sarah and Michael by his side, he felt confident that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. As Jamie transitioned to college, he chose to pursue a degree in astrophysics, driven by his passion for space and the mysteries of the universe. Sarah and Michael were incredibly supportive, helping him with the application process and celebrating when he received his acceptance letter from a prestigious university. Moving away from home was both exciting and daunting for Jamie. He felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness as he packed his belongings and prepared for this new chapter in his life. Sarah and Michael helped him move into his dorm, making sure he had everything he needed for a successful start. "Remember, we're just a phone call away," Sarah said, giving Jamie a tight hug. "If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out." Michael nodded, placing a reassuring hand on Jamie's shoulder. "You've got this, Jamie. We're so proud of you. Go out there and show the world what you're made of." Jamie smiled, feeling a surge of confidence. "Thank you for everything. I won't let you down." As Jamie settled into college life, he quickly found his footing. He immersed himself in his studies, eager to learn as much as he could about the cosmos. His professors were impressed by his dedication and enthusiasm, and he soon became known as one of the top students in his program. Jamie also made new friends who shared his passion for science. They spent countless hours discussing theories, conducting experiments, and stargazing on clear nights. For the first time, Jamie felt like he truly belonged. Despite the distance, Jamie stayed in close contact with Sarah and Michael. They frequently video called, sharing updates about their lives and offering words of encouragement. Jamie's success brought them immense pride, and they loved hearing about his latest discoveries and achievements. One evening, Jamie received an email that would change his life. It was an invitation to join a research team led by one of the most renowned astrophysicists in the world. The team was working on a groundbreaking project to study exoplanets, and they wanted Jamie to be a part of it. Overwhelmed with excitement, Jamie immediately called Sarah and Michael to share the news. "I can't believe it. I've been invited to join Dr. Thompson's research team. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." Sarah and Michael were ecstatic. "That's incredible, Jamie. We're so proud of you," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. "You've worked so hard for this." Michael nodded in agreement. "This is just the beginning, Jamie. We always knew you were destined for great things." Jamie felt a surge of gratitude and determination. He knew that this opportunity was a result of his hard work and the unwavering support of his parents. He was determined to make the most of it. Joining the research team was a dream come true for Jamie. He worked alongside brilliant scientists, learning from their expertise and contributing his own insights. The project was challenging, but Jamie thrived in the collaborative environment. As the months went by, Jamie's contributions to the research became increasingly significant. He developed new methods for analyzing data, leading to several important discoveries about exoplanets. His work earned him recognition and respect from his peers and mentors. One day, Dr. Thompson called Jamie into his office. "Jamie, I want to commend you for your outstanding work on this project. Your dedication and innovative thinking have been invaluable to our research." Jamie's heart swelled with pride. "Thank you, Dr. Thompson. It's an honor to be part of this team." Dr. Thompson smiled. "I have some exciting news. We've been invited to present our findings at an international conference on astrophysics. I would like you to be one of the presenters." Jamie's eyes widened in disbelief. "Me? Present at an international conference?" "Yes, Jamie," Dr. Thompson said, his tone encouraging. "You've earned this opportunity. Your work has made a significant impact, and I believe you have the potential to inspire others with your insights." Jamie felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Presenting at an international conference was a huge honor, but it also meant stepping out of his comfort zone. He knew it would be a challenge, but he was determined to rise to the occasion. Over the next few weeks, Jamie worked tirelessly to prepare his presentation. He practiced speaking in front of his friends and mentors, refining his delivery and building his confidence. Sarah and Michael offered their unwavering support, encouraging him every step of the way. The day of the conference arrived, and Jamie felt a mixture of nerves and excitement as he stood backstage, waiting for his turn to present. He took a deep breath, reminding himself of all the hard work and preparation that had brought him to this moment. As he stepped onto the stage, the audience's applause filled the room. Jamie felt a surge of adrenaline as he began his presentation, sharing the team's groundbreaking discoveries and his own contributions to the research. To his relief, the audience was captivated by his presentation. They listened intently, asked thoughtful questions, and applauded enthusiastically at the end. Jamie felt a sense of accomplishment and pride like never before. After the presentation, several prominent scientists approached Jamie to congratulate him and discuss his work. He was thrilled to make connections with experts in the field and receive their positive feedback. When Jamie returned to his dorm that evening, he called Sarah and Michael to share the news. "The presentation went great. So many people were interested in our research, and I made some amazing connections. We knew you would do an incredible job," Sarah said, her voice filled with pride. "We're so proud of you, Jamie." Michael nodded. "This is just the beginning. We can't wait to see what you'll achieve next." Jamie's heart swelled with gratitude. He knew that his success was a result of his hard work and the unwavering support of his parents. He felt a deep sense of appreciation for everything they had done for him. As Jamie continued his studies and research, he remained focused on his goals. He knew that there were still many challenges ahead, but he was determined to overcome them with the same dedication and perseverance that had brought him this far. Years later, Jamie graduated with honors, earning his degree in astrophysics. Sarah and Michael were there to celebrate with him, their faces beaming with pride. Jamie felt a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment as he looked out at the audience and saw the people who had supported him every step of the way. After graduation, Jamie was offered a position at a prestigious research institution, where he would continue his work on exoplanets and contribute to the advancement of space science. It was a dream come true, and Jamie felt excited for the future. As he settled into his new role, Jamie continued to stay in close contact with Sarah and Michael. They were his biggest supporters, always cheering him on and celebrating his achievements. Jamie knew that he wouldn't be where he was without their love and encouragement. One evening, Jamie received a call from Sarah. "Jamie, we have some exciting news. Michael and I are going to be grandparents." Jamie's heart skipped a beat. "That's amazing. Congratulations. Who's having a baby?" Sarah laughed. "Your sister, Emily. She's expecting her first child." Jamie felt a rush of joy and excitement. "I'm going to be an uncle. I can't wait to meet the baby." As the months went by, Jamie eagerly anticipated the arrival of his niece or nephew. He stayed in close contact with Emily, offering his support and sharing in her excitement. Finally, the day arrived and Jamie received a call from Michael. "The baby is here. It's a girl and her name is Lily." Jamie's heart swelled with happiness. "Congratulations. I can't wait to meet her." A few days later, Jamie traveled to visit his family and meet his new niece. When he held Lily for the first time, he felt a deep sense of love and connection. He knew that he would always be there for her, just as Sarah and Michael had been there for him. As Jamie looked around at his family, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought him to this moment. He had faced many challenges, but with the love and support of his family, he had overcome them all. And as he looked to the future, Jamie knew that he was ready for whatever came next. With his family by his side, he felt confident that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. The next chapter of his life was just beginning, and Jamie couldn't wait to see where it would take him. Jamie continued to excel in his career, making significant contributions to the field of astrophysics. His research on exoplanets gained international recognition, and he was invited to speak at conferences around the world. He published numerous papers and collaborated with some of the brightest minds in science. Despite his busy schedule, Jamie always made time for his family. He frequently visited Sarah, Michael, and his niece Lily, cherishing the moments they spent together. He loved watching Lily grow and develop, and he took great pride in being her uncle. One day, Jamie received an invitation to join a groundbreaking project at a leading space research organization. The project aimed to develop new technology for exploring distant planets, and Jamie's expertise in exoplanets made him a perfect fit for the team. Excited by the opportunity, Jamie eagerly accepted the offer. He moved to a new city to join the research team, diving headfirst into the challenging and innovative work. The project was ambitious, but Jamie was determined to make a meaningful contribution. As Jamie settled into his new role, he quickly became an integral part of the team. His colleagues admired his dedication and innovative thinking, and together they made significant strides in developing the new technology. One evening, as Jamie was working late in the lab, he received a video call from Sarah and Michael. He smiled as he answered, seeing their familiar faces on the screen. "Hi, Mom and Dad. How are you?" Jamie greeted them warmly. "We're doing well, Jamie," Sarah replied with a smile. "We just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. We miss you." "I miss you too," Jamie said, feeling a pang of homesickness. "The project is going great, but I wish I could see you all more often." Michael nodded. "We understand, Jamie. We're so proud of everything you're accomplishing. Just remember to take care of yourself and make time for the things that matter." Jamie felt a surge of gratitude for his parents' unwavering support. "I will, Dad. Thank you both for always being there for me. I couldn't have done any of this without you." After the call, Jamie felt a renewed sense of determination. He knew that his work was important, but he also understood the value of maintaining a balance between his career and his personal life. As the project progressed, Jamie and his team made remarkable advancements. They developed a prototype for a new spacecraft that could travel to distant exoplanets and gather valuable data. The technology had the potential to revolutionize space exploration and expand humanity's understanding of the universe. When the prototype was ready for testing, Jamie felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The success of the project depended on the results of the test, and he knew that countless hours of hard work had led to this moment. On the day of the test, Jamie and his team gathered at the launch site, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They watched as the spacecraft was prepared for launch, the tension in the air palpable. As the countdown began, Jamie held his breath, his eyes fixed on the spacecraft. When the engines roared to life and the spacecraft lifted off the ground, a cheer erupted from the team. They watched in awe as the spacecraft soared into the sky, successfully entering orbit. The test was a resounding success, and Jamie felt a wave of relief and pride wash over him. He knew that this was just the beginning, but the successful launch was a major milestone for the project. In the days that followed, Jamie and his team analyzed the data collected by the spacecraft, making further refinements and improvements. Their work attracted attention from the global scientific community, and Jamie was invited to present their findings at a prestigious international conference. As Jamie prepared for the conference, he reflected on his journey and the incredible support he had received from his family. He knew that he wouldn't be where he was without Sarah and Michael's love and encouragement. The conference was held in a beautiful city, and Jamie felt a sense of excitement as he arrived at the venue. He was eager to share the team's groundbreaking work and connect with other scientists from around the world. When it was time for his presentation, Jamie took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. He felt a surge of confidence as he began to speak, sharing the details of the project and the innovative technology they had developed. The audience was captivated by his presentation, and Jamie felt a sense of pride as he answered their questions and discussed the implications of their work. He knew that their research had the potential to change the future of space exploration. After the presentation, Jamie was approached by several prominent scientists who expressed their admiration for his work and their interest in collaborating on future projects. Jamie felt a sense of accomplishment and excitement for the possibilities that lay ahead. As he returned to his hotel room that evening, Jamie received a call from Sarah and Michael. He eagerly answered, excited to share the news of his successful presentation. "Mom, Dad, the presentation went amazing. So many people were interested in our work, and I made some incredible connections," Jamie said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "We knew you would do a fantastic job," Sarah said, her eyes shining with pride. "We're so proud of you, Jamie," Michael nodded. "This is just the beginning. We can't wait to see what you'll achieve next." Jamie felt a surge of gratitude and determination. He knew that his success was a result of his hard work and the unwavering support of his parents. He felt a deep sense of appreciation for everything they had done for him. As Jamie continued to excel in his career, he remained focused on his goals and dedicated to making a meaningful impact in the field of astrophysics. He knew that there were still many challenges ahead, but he was determined to overcome them with the same dedication and perseverance that had brought him this far. Years later, Jamie's work on exoplanets and space exploration earned him numerous awards and accolades. He became a leading figure in the scientific community, respected for his contributions and admired for his passion and dedication. Despite his success, Jamie never forgot the importance of family. He frequently visited Sarah, Michael, and Lily, cherishing the moments they spent together. He loved watching Lily grow and develop, and he took great pride in being her uncle. One day, Jamie received a call from Emily. "Jamie, I have some exciting news. We're expecting another baby." Jamie's heart swelled with happiness. "That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you." As the months went by, Jamie eagerly anticipated the arrival of his new niece or nephew. He stayed in close contact with Emily, offering his support and sharing in her excitement. Finally, the day arrived and Jamie received a call from Michael. "The baby is here. It's a boy and his name is Ethan." Jamie's heart swelled with happiness. "Congratulations. I can't wait to meet him." A few days later, Jamie traveled to visit his family and meet his new nephew. When he held Ethan for the first time, he felt a deep sense of love and connection. He knew that he would always be there for him, just as Sarah and Michael had been there for him. As Jamie looked around at his family, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought him to this moment. He had faced many challenges, but with the love and support of his family, he had overcome them all. And as he looked to the future, Jamie knew that he was ready for whatever came next. With his family by his side, he felt confident that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. The next chapter of his life was just beginning, and Jamie couldn't wait to see where it would take him. As the years went by, Jamie continued to make significant contributions to the field of astrophysics. He led numerous research projects, mentored young scientists, and inspired countless individuals with his work. His dedication and passion for science never waned, and he remained committed to pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Jamie also continued to maintain a strong bond with his family. He cherished the moments he spent with Sarah, Michael, Emily, Lily, and Ethan. They were his greatest source of support and inspiration, and he was grateful for their unwavering love. One day, Jamie received an invitation to speak at a prestigious event celebrating the achievements of scientists who had made significant contributions to their fields. The event was to be held in his hometown, and Jamie felt a sense of excitement and nostalgia as he prepared for the occasion. As he stood on the stage, looking out at the audience, Jamie felt a wave of emotion. He thought about the journey that had brought him to this moment, the challenges he had faced, the support he had received, and the incredible achievements he had accomplished. He began his speech by expressing his gratitude to his family. "I wouldn't be standing here today without the love and support of my parents, Sarah and Michael. They took me in when I had nowhere else to go, and they believed in me when no one else did. Their unwavering support has been the foundation of everything I've achieved." The audience applauded warmly, and Jamie felt a surge of pride and gratitude. He continued his speech, sharing his passion for science and his vision for the future of space exploration. He spoke about the importance of curiosity, perseverance, and the power of human potential. As he concluded his speech, Jamie looked out at the audience, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The journey of discovery is never easy, but it is always worth it. With determination, support, and a willingness to explore the unknown, we can achieve incredible things. Thank you. The audience rose to their feet, giving Jamie a standing ovation. He felt a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that his work had made a meaningful impact on the world. After the event, Jamie reunited with his family. Sarah and Michael hugged him tightly, their faces beaming with pride. "We're so proud of you, Jamie," Sarah said, her eyes filled with tears. "You've achieved so much and inspired so many." Michael nodded. "You've come a long way, Jamie. And we'll always be here to support you no matter what." Jamie smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart. He knew that his journey was far from over, but with his family by his side, he felt ready for whatever came next. As they celebrated together, Jamie felt a profound sense of gratitude for the life he had built and the people who had supported him along the way. He knew that he had been given a second chance, and he was determined to make the most of it.